1049 here, WILK. Well, let's welcome in Jim Martin here on the John Mendola Show from the Luzerne County Hall of Fame. And Jim, a couple of weeks now, really inducted some great members, and welcome in today.
John, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today talking to you about our Luzerne County Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, there's really been some big-time names this year all across the board, women, men. Let's talk a little bit about this class that went in here for 2018.
Well, our inductees this year were Maria Mooney for Doris B. Saraceno, who was the mother of Wilkes Athletics. Lisa Gigliello, head softball coach at King's College, over 600 career wins. Jillian Seaman, who was up for the NCAA Woman of the Year representing the University of Delaware. Linda Fithian, state champion field hockey and state runner-up just this last year, head coach, over 350 wins this year. Florence Flossie Finn, who was the preeminent mother of softball athletics at Lake Lehman High School, 41 years involved. Lauren Polly, Olympic athlete, played for our United States Olympic team on field hockey over in Beijing. We have Ann Romanowski, really put us on the map for lacrosse and field hockey, played at Villanova University. We have Justin Rinkevich, two-time NCAA National Division I champion in the javelin from the University of North Carolina. Martin John Bibler, who played for Crestwood High School, went on to play for the University of Miami Hurricanes, 2001 national champions, and ultimately drafted in the fourth round by the Atlanta Falcons. Kevin Doyle for Myers High School wrestling fame and scholarship athlete to University of Pennsylvania. Todd Bynan, representing William J. Bynan, who was a gentleman from our area who played on the 1936 Kingston High School state championship football team and went on to be a head coach in New York and has a stadium named after him. Joe Caffrey of basketball, Lohr, Myers, and Coughlin High School. Stephen Middich, the winningest wrestler in Drexel history at 137 wins, presently the head wrestling coach at Keystone College and was on the Olympic ladder. And John Licata, a very dear friend of mine, was on the cusp for Olympic wrestling glory. He was invited to their developmental camp in 1976, wrestled for Westchester University, and now is in charge of the WIBN Wrestlers in Business Network, which networks through all of different types of work environments where wrestlers are concerned and gives them opportunities and helps them in developing your coaches and developmental skills.
That's a big list.
Oh, and absolutely, and probably the most significant one this year is Tracy Trebendis. We think that, and we're positive that she's the first Special Olympics athlete to be inducted into a chapter Hall of Fame in the history of Pennsylvania athletics for the Pennsylvania State Hall of Fame of sports. Tracy competed in 1994. She was at the World Special Olympics game, and she was the first U.S. athlete to garner a gold medal. She was ultimately in swimming. She was ultimately interviewed by John Neighbor, a former Olympic champion, on July 4th by ESPN. And to us, this was an extremely significant induction because handicapability should not be overlooked as far as the quality of an athlete and the quality of an individual. And she is so deserving, Tracy Trebendis.
Yeah, of course, Dad, Frank Trebendis, a longtime swimming coach at Wyoming Valley West, and Tracy always staying active. And I saw her, in fact, last weekend in our community here in northeastern Pennsylvania running around. She always has a great attitude and a big smile on her face. And we have no shortage of tremendous athletes and coaches. Such a great tradition here in northeastern Pennsylvania. And that's what you and the members of the Luzerne County Hall of Fame try to do, is recognize them. It's really an incredible thing that it takes all year to kind of go through this and put this together each and every year. In August, you guys do a fabulous job.
Well, thank you for that. It is a labor of love, and what we try to do is we just want to make sure that this organization just isn't looked at as a dusty old book of pictures that you blow the dust off of and open and leaf through. This is something that's significant, and we contribute to the community in so many ways. We are with Joe Madden's HIT project at Hazleton. We were with Doc Moses' charity event. And then getting to Doc Moses, we certainly lost. He was one of our founding members. We certainly lost somebody spectacular in guidance and helping us to just move the process of this organization forward. He was on the ballot last year for induction to the State Hall of Fame and only missed by a few votes. But we're putting him back on the ballot this year, and we're really hoping to get him through because he and his organization have raised over $1.3 million, which has been reinfused back into our community. $1,000 at a time, $1,000 to a charity, $1,000 to an individual. People who have needs in our community, and this organization has served those needs. So we're going to be pushing hard for him again. And lastly, just to recognize that we do have 3 State Hall of Fame inductees going in this year. We have George Curry, the winningest football coach in PIAA history. We have Karen Klasner, 6 state titles, athletic director at Wyoming Seminary for field hockey. And lastly, we have Jack Henzis of Dunmore, who is second to George Curry in all-time wins. He just had a little event health-wise, but he'll be back probably on the sidelines roaming them pretty soon. But we have 3 really significant people that are going to the State Hall of Fame induction, which we held at the Woodlands Inn and Resort November 2nd and 3rd of this year, 2018. So if anybody wants to come out and help to recognize these individuals, they're the top-notch, and they're what we are all about. They allow us to represent them, and they put us way up there on the map.
Yes, absolutely. Jim, a tremendous job once again, as you mentioned some of those names. And, of course, our thoughts and prayers to the late Doc Moses, just passed away. And he was an important part of all the things, as you say, a lot of giving in the community and big part of the Luzerne County fame. And look forward to the next year's inductees. And, of course, people can check them out online with the Luzerne County Hall of Fame. Jim Martin, we hope you enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend here.
I appreciate that. If I could just mention one more thing. In September, we're going to be opening a museum at the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport. It'll be done by the end of September, and this year's inductees will be the first display in the airport in which 330,000 people pass through each year.
All right. Well, great stuff. Your resolve is second to none. Keep up the great work, Jim, and thank you for your time.
John, thanks for everything you do for us. I really appreciate what you did for us over all these years.
All right, you got it. Jim Martin from the Luzerne County Hall of Fame. Again, that's a big deal. The Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport, that's going to be absolutely fantastic, as he mentioned. Not just something that's, in a scrapbook laying around somewhere. You're going to see these things displayed and really honor some people. And you start thinking, the more and more you start going through these names and like, wow, that's pretty big. Well, that name is pretty big. We got some great athletes here in northeastern Pennsylvania that went on to do bigger and better things, and of course that continues. Well, we appreciate you joining us here on the John Mendola Show. You could follow us online. It is thejohnmendolashow.com. Of course, you could like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at John Mendola Show. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You want to listen to the Wilkes University Colonels football game today against Hartwick. Tom Ferguson will have the play-by-play call for you today. Of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow that action. Again, the John Mendola Show. Well, we're going to take a time out, and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend here on the John Mendola Show. Of course, we'll head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Matt Daly. Break like a good neighbor. Matt Daly in Kingston is there. Have a good one from everybody here at WILK.